Hi, this is Lakhi Singh, the property fixer, here to fix you and help you grow your property and your business affairs to the next level. So if you're looking for knowledge and insights about how to get involved in property, solve your problems about scalability in your property business, then do watch our 20-minute clips. We've taken them from hundreds and, well, thousands of videos that we've taken over the last 6 months, and we've broken them into simple chunks which can make them useful for you. So do watch and do subscribe to our YouTube channel underneath as well.
You're lucky in the sense that you got a lot of, you can actually set up stall in a different way now, because you have a lot access to a lot of technology and a lot of knowledge online. We didn't have that 33 years ago when I was your age. We had to actually literally pick up the phone or read the newspaper, and the information, the library was quite low tech, so we had to sort of do a lot more. So I would suggest whatever you're doing now, it really works. But the additions to what you could be doing are, number one is to decide out of the 4 key areas of marketing, which are the ones that you really enjoy and you think they are the things that you could be good at. So, for example, you've got PR, you've got digital marketing, you've got social media. Within digital marketing, you get social media, you get websites, you get something called UX, which is user design, you get graphic design, you get you've got other things such as advertising, pay-per-click, content management system, CMSs. So that's just within sort of digital. Then you actually get advertising and TV and news press. You've got a lot of different areas in marketing. It's quite a large area. It's not like a small area. So you may want to think about once you do, finish up with this job after 2 years or 3 years, do you really want to get into which area you want to get into, first of all? The second thing you might want to consider is whether you want to go contracting or not, or get contracts. And one of the things you could do now even is put yourself up as a contractor in marketing, a lot of websites as a consultant. So when you get jobs, try to win jobs. So you could actually set up your own digital marketing agency or PR agency. I actually went through a similar cycle where I was an employee. Then I did actually move into contracting and ended up being on contracts for £500-600 a day as a consultant to Parliament and to organisations like the DTI and Guildford Council. So I think if you lay the foundations now, what you've got to decide is, I'll give you a simple house analogy because I'm from the property market, whether you want to build a mansion or whether you want to, get a 1-bed flat. So, but if you start working on the fundamentals now and develop your understanding of where you want to go, then you just work backwards. So I make it sound quite easy, don't I, BJ Sal?
Yeah, you're making it sound really easy. But isn't that what life is? Very easy. It depends on how complicated you want to make it. Karen Williams says, excellent. She says it's excellent advice that you're giving to Cam. And Deborah says that she can tap into your energy, Cam. And I think she advises that you possibly turn into a tree. What was it she advises? Deborah's advice, I think she's probably going to sense your energy through the internet, and she's probably going to give you a big huggy and give you lots of energy to become like a super young businessman. So, okay, so 5 years, where have you planned 5 years? Where are you taking it? Cam, 5 years time, what's the pit stop? You're staying in Unilever Are you looking to fly the nest? What are you doing?
Next 5 years, I want to have my own. It's quite I forgot the word now. Like I'm pushing myself, but I'd say I want my own business, or be at the stage where I know kind of where I want to go with my own business. So even like he just said, he just gave me an idea straight away. But that's what I mean. Like when I get more experience within my job as well, and when I kind of specify where I want to go into marketing, for example, I think that will give me a lot of ideas. So hopefully I have a clear idea of what business I want to start up, and in 5 years I want to be in property, without a doubt, whether that's full-time or part-time, if that makes sense. Like my father, he's got some properties, but obviously he hasn't been in the property market as much as someone like Lakhi Singh. So I think that would be good for 5 years, definitely. It will require a lot of hard work, but I'm willing to put it in.
Okay, so what do you enjoy then? What are the activities in your work that you actually enjoy? What are you very good at, or what is it that you could do day in, day out? Are you a very IT-based type of young man, or are you more of a meet and shake the flesh of people's hands? What type of boy are you? To like to meet people and mingle and network, or do you like to use social media more?
So in terms of work, so I'll link that question to like the working world. I'd say my strengths lie in building relationships with people, communicating with people. I think Lakhi said that yesterday in the show as well. Communication's so essential. I feel like that's my strength. I love communicating with people and building relationships, and I feel like that's quite useful because obviously I'm studying project management as well. And as Lakhi said, I've got to choose where I want to go into. So I feel like the fact that I'm studying project management as well, that's another kind of direction I can go into, and that also links to contracting because I know a lot of project managers are contractors. But yeah, I feel like those two strengths, communicating and relationship building, will help obviously with stakeholders within projects as well. But I'm quite confident. I like to work in a team, and I'm quite a collaborative individual as well, I'd say.
Okay. So, Lakhisingh, what's the similarity between Cam and yourself? What do you see straight away? He's got a drive, and he's obviously enthusiastic to learn. What do you see? Where do you see this young man going in terms of? And remember, there's an environment shift as well. So the environment isn't the way it's going to be. Everything is going to be somewhat differently structured after the lockdown. And we've got another lockdown, which is now, I think, in force. Lakhi, is that right?
That's right. I think I can see immediately that Cameron is actually, for him, it's sky is the limit. So I think if he got on the rocket now, which I think he has, I think he'll be flying, to be honest. And I think the only thing that's stopping him is actually nothing. So what he may not realize is that the market for somebody like with his level of enthusiasm, his skills, if you've got networking skills, you'll always find a job. And if you've got you're quite tenacious and want to get into business, and he's got the ability to pick up on information and knowledge and understand things like risk and project management. All these things would be strong foundations for business. So it sounds like he's taking a very similar path. It does actually sound like another Lakhi Singh, but a better, younger, more sophisticated version, because he's going to be a lot more tech savvy. So I would just say the sky's the limit, mate, because with a name like Cameron Singh, you can't really go too wrong, can you?
That's true. Okay.
100%.
Cam, tell us something else about yourself. What are your hobbies? I mean, what other hobbies do you have? Do you play any sports? Are you into fishing, or do you write poetry? Anything else?
So I'm really passionate about training, training in terms of like the gym, so weight training, cardio training, and I feel like genetically, from a young age, I'm always like, I don't want to keep going on about six pack, but I remember when I was younger as well, but like when I was like 10 years old, I always used to just do sit-ups. So one of my hobbies is obviously going to the gym quite regularly. I go 6 times a week, so I actually go in the morning. So I just came back about an hour ago. I go about 5:45 to about 7. 24-hour gym, so that's brilliant. But one of the things that was a shame, actually, I started mixed martial arts last September. So that was really good. That was something where I kind of had to like come out of my shell, because my friend's brother-in-law he suggested, why don't you go to mixed martial arts? And I said, I would love to, but I'm just a bit shy, scared to go, kind of thing, because it would be easier to go with a friend. But once I started, that was brilliant. So obviously did it from September to lockdown. That was Brazilian jiu-jitsu, bit of kickboxing, boxing, grappling, and I was really good. Couple of like black eyes, like Lakhi Singh earlier a couple of weeks ago, but but yeah, that was really good. But it's a shame because I feel like I've been speaking about the lockdown, I feel like it's kind of fallen down in the pecking order of my priorities. So I haven't actually gone back to it yet. I'm not putting a full stop to it as a whole. But for now, I say I've got other priorities. But yeah, there's some of my hobbies. I like to read as well. I've read quite a few good books. Like you probably heard of some of them, like Rich Dad Poor Dad. Currently reading a book called Extreme Ownership. So that's someone, Jocko Willink, his name is, and it really teaches you how to be a leader, take ownership of loads of things, how to obviously build successful teams and run.
What's Rich Dad Poor Dad about then? Is that about a rich dad and a poor dad?
Yeah, you're spot on there. So basically, it's about a child called Robert, who's author, and he had his normal father, and he had his friend's dad, and basically the story's teaching you principles in a story way. So basically, one of his dads had a he was really involved in that, like the normal system, so like the 9 to 5, getting a high paid job, not investing your money and taking risks. Yeah, and the other father was more risk taking. He valued business more, so like starting up your own business or making money in different methods. And I feel like you learn loads of key principles. Some of the parts of the book is quite not controversial, but you can argue some of the points and some of the principles. But the core principles in the book is fantastic, and I'd recommend it to anyone, obviously younger than me, because a lot of people older than me have probably read it. But if you haven't, it's a really good book. But I actually had one question. I had one question actually from Rich Dad Poor Dad, and actually wanted to ask you both actually. So one thing I got from the book, it says buying a house is not actually a asset. So just before I get your answer, I kind of understand what he means. So what I believe he means is, if you just buy like your house, you're going to get costs from that house, and instead of getting inflow, you're obviously getting outflow, because obviously expenses, maintenance costs. But where I disagree is, obviously, if you have houses that are to let, so you're letting them out, I feel like they surely are assets, right? So what's your opinion on that statement?
Yeah. Yeah, go on.
Go already. I think we'll let Lakhi answer the question, because he's actually read the same book, Rich Dad Poor Dad. It's one of his favorites. He actually used to sleep with it under his pillow, I think, at one time. Lakhi Singh?
That's right. I think I've got the series as well. I think there's there's lots of different ones that follow on from there. it's a very good question. I think if you keep it very, very simple, what he's saying is why it's not just a house. I think buying anything that's actually depreciates in value has got no appreciation. If you're using it, it's a liability. So if you've got a mortgage, but there's no income coming from it, then what he's saying is that then why basically buy the house is the key thing, key principle. So which in some ways, for a practical point of view, doesn't make sense. But if you're if you're not getting into business, you're a 9-to-5er and you just want a house to live in, then it's not really an investment. It's more so a place to live in. But obviously, if you're a business person, there's a strategy out there where you can make money. So you just got to put whatever you're saying into context, which is a lot of people in the UK, they take advantage of something called residential relief. So you don't have to pay any tax when you buy a house. So they buy a house to live in, a business person, do the house up. They might buy it for 300, spend 50, and then resell it for 600 by doing an extension or bringing some value it by getting some sort of planning on it. So it's called a sort of like a value add strategy. So yeah, I would agree that buying a house just for the sake of living in it, it's got no income or no potential. That doesn't make any sense from a business point of view. So if you bought a house, if you extended it, got planning permission to build another house next to it, or you built 3 flats next to your house in an annex or something and rented them out, got an income from it, yeah, then it makes sense to actually buy that house. So I think you're right. It's a sort of like a double question.
Okay, before I answer that question, we've got the wonderful Sonia who's dialed in to ask a question. Sonia, can we have you? You're backstage still. Where are you? Here we are.
I'm here.
Sonia,
Hiya.
how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Sonia's come in to ask a question directly. Fire away, Sonia.
I think it's really refreshing to hear someone as young as Cam get involved in, have the right mindset at such a young age. And
Yes,
I really
yes.
wished I had the same people behind me at the time to actually inspire me and motivate me to, set a path in life. And it
Yeah.
just so happens that I've actually accidentally fallen into the things that I've done without any planning. And I've literally had to flap my arms and swim to keep my head above the water in order to pursue the path that I've wanted to pursue, because there's been lots of people, because you may find as you progress through your career that there'll be people around you that will try to be really negative and tell you that you can't. But as long as you've got the focus, you're in the right mindset, and you've got that passion and commitment to know where you want to go to and where you want to get to, you're going to get there. So it's really lovely, because I've got a son myself who's just a couple of years older than you, and he's wanted to become a clinical psychologist since the age of 11.
Wow,
so he's actually
focused. Yes.
Yeah, so he's
CSI,
so he knew from an early age what courses he needs to take, what university he needs to get to, what grade he needs to get, and he actually took time out to volunteer. He worked in the profession for a year unpaid, and it cost me bloody fortune, but it was his dream. And now that he's graduated, he's really focused on what role he wants. So there's lots of other roles on the periphery, but he's really driven and determined that he wants a particular role because he knows that particular role will take him to where he wants to go.
Sonia, the question then for this young man, what question do you have then, apart from the fact that it's really a fresh breath of air to see somebody so young he's got ideas, at least if they're not focused, he has ideas and he's got energy about him. So what's the question? What's the question?
What drives you and motivates you every day to follow your path?
Cam.
Yeah, so just first of all, thanks for the compliments and thanks for the comments you made. I really appreciate that. So answering your question, I think it's my purpose. So my purpose is
my
purpose is to give back to my family. So I feel like that really drives me, because they've done so much for me, and the least I can do is give back to them. And I know it's like sometimes, like, I think they might not even need it, but I feel like the least I can do is just give back a little, whether that's taking them on holidays or just getting things with them. I feel that's what drives me, and making them proud is the main thing, really, because it's not about tangible assets.
Excellent. Sonia, thank you so much for your question and for the fact you've actually started to join in, as we're trying to do, to get everybody who listens to us to join in. Sonia, thank you so much for your time. A wonderful question, and I think you're also going to make your son's going to make you proud as well. See, the energy seems to transmit in both directions. Thank you so much, Sonia.
Yeah,
anybody else who's got a question who wants to ask, we sent the link out on the group. Please do request to join in and ask this young man a question.